Today at Watch Candy, we are doing soda ASMR. Hey, welcome back to Watch Candy. Today is going to be another awesome episode. It's going to be a very delicious episode. Grab your drink of choice. Today we're going to talk about the best soda-themed watches of all time that aren't Rolex. First off, we have the watch that inspired this whole episode. We have the Seiko GMT official Pepsi collaboration. Now, what makes this watch awesome is that it is very much directed at Rolex and the Rolex enthusiast community and the watch enthusiast community as a whole. If you weren't aware, Rolex has a model in their GMT line, the BLRO, which is one of their GMT watches that has a bezel that is half red and half blue. And because of that coloration, it was nicknamed the Pepsi GMT. And that's what collectors have called it for decades. It's been so iconic that watch enthusiasts will call other watches Pepsi if they have that same coloration. But now it is official. Seiko has actually officially claimed the title with this collaboration with Pepsi. And you can see both watches are based off of the Seiko 5 range. One of them is the Seiko 5KX with the steel case and the steel bracelets and that lovely silvery white dial. The other is the GMT version of that, but this one is interesting. It comes with a black PVD case and then a rubber Pepsi branded strap. But you'll notice it has that very iconic Pepsi coloration, especially with that red GMT hand. And the blue second hand is a really nice touch. I think that looks really cool. And it really makes it seem less like knocking off Rolex and trying to make a Rolex clone and more of a thought out collaboration with Pepsi. Although yes, undoubtedly this whole collaboration is to take a jab at Rolex. Now this is the first time in a really long time that a Seiko release has caused any type of commotion. For the last couple years it seems, Seiko has kind of been releasing medium after medium watch. Some people talk about it. Most of the time it's to complain about how it's not bad, but it's not great. This is the first watch that, although yeah, it's no improvement of quality or technique or anything like that, but it is a really fun and cool idea. So it's kind of nice to see Seiko back in the limelight. Each piece is going to be limited to 7,000, which isn't really limited, but I have a feeling these are gonna sell out just about instantly. I don't know yet if they're gonna be available in the American market. I see a lot of people quoting British pounds or euros, so I don't know exactly if it's going to be available for people in the US, but if it is, it's going to land around $625 for the black GMT version, and then about $440 for the white with no GMT function, which is a bit of a jump. I mean, I know this is a collaboration and collabs always have a little bit of a price increase, but that is a lot, especially for a Seiko. That price is probably gonna stop me from trying to get one, but I highly, highly doubt that there's gonna be any available hours after the drop because everyone is talking so much about this. And yeah, it's a little bit more than I think you should pay for a Seiko 5, but hey, it's Pepsi, right? Pretty cool. For our next watch, we have a duo of watches actually. These are the Coca-Cola collaborations with G-Shock. And I like this release. It's not available anymore, unfortunately. It did come out a couple years ago, but I like the way they did this with releasing two watches, just like the Pepsi releases, because it gives you a couple options of what direction you want to go in. These are definitely very, very different watches. Not only are they entirely different models with slightly different functions and very different sizes and looks, but they also pander to different aspects of Coca-Cola and what makes that company iconic. They didn't have to compromise on design ideas. Anyway, we've got, for the first watch, very iconic red and white Coca-Cola 5600 from G-Shock. Instantly recognizable, A, for the giant Coca-Cola logo on the dial and the strap, but also for that really cool red display, which I think is cool. I love when G-Shock does colored displays like this. But my favorite out of these two is definitely the DW6900 version. This one has a really gorgeous, dark, transparent green color. It's meant to look like the color of the glass bottles that made Coca-Cola so iconic, and paired with that stark white dial with the red accents, I think it's such a cool color combination, let alone the fact that it is an interesting collab. I remember when these got released, I thought they were super cool. I almost bought the green one, but I held back just a little bit because honestly, Coca-Cola is not my drink of choice. Anyway, these both retailed at $160, although like I said, they're not available anymore, though you'd have to go gray if you wanted to nab one of these. Ooh, all right. I am really excited for this next watch. This is the Jack Mason Stratotimer Dr. Pepper GMT. And yes, I am absolutely biased because it is themed after my drink of choice, but I have handled a Stratotimer from Jack Mason in the past, and I was very impressed with its quality. So I do believe that for the money, it is a really cool watch. Of course, with that red and brown GMT bezel, it just makes me crave a good sip. So I'm gonna have one right now. It's a very cool collaboration between two American brands, which you'll love to see, especially since there are so few American-based watchmakers. Of course, the movement is not made in America. This is the Miyota 9075 movement, so it's not an American watch through and through, but it is an American-based company, which is really neat. It is regulated by Jack Mason to fit within the accuracy parameters of plus to minus 5 seconds per day, which is really cool. I like when brands get a little bit hands-on with their movements instead of taking it straight from the shelf to the watch. I do like how they've saved the logo though for only the rotor, so it's not in your face collaboration, which I really like. It's subtle, it's tasteful, it's tasty. You do get a few different bracelet options with this, which is really cool as well. You have the 7-link, the 3-link, and a strap option. A little Easter egg about this watch is that the 10, 2, and 4 indexes, the lume is a slightly different color, so you'll notice the rest of the indexes are a blue color while those 3 indexes are colored green. And the reason for this is apparently Dr. Pepper had a slogan in around the 1930s that was "Drink a bite to eat at 10, 2, and 4. Hey, if you're really into Dr. Pepper and the history, this is definitely the watch for you. Now, I just like the drink. I definitely don't know all that much about the actual company. Although the watch isn't limited, it is $1,149 US. So it's really cool, but it is a little bit of a novelty. So I'm not ready to spend the money on that quite yet, but I definitely will someday. The last watch on this list is another collaboration, but not quite in the way the rest of these watches have been collaborations. This is a collaboration between Timex and artist Second. This collaboration did come out a couple years ago, so it's not something that you can go out and buy from Timex at the moment, but this is the collaboration called If You Know, You Know. And this is another jab at enthusiasts and especially Rolex enthusiasts with all sorts of funky nicknames. But today, I'm talking about the root beer. Now, this watch is not actually called the root beer officially. It is, like I said, if you know, you know. But what's really awesome about this watch, it does have the vintage coloration of old root beer GMTs with that lovely brown and gold. That chocolatey brown and gold really go well together. But of course, it's Second, and it would not be one of their watches if it didn't have some kind of playful aspect, which you'll notice, of course, the second hand has been replaced by a big old mug of root beer. This watch did come out in 2023 and it retailed for only $199, which is a lot for a Timex, but not a lot for a Second collaboration. So I think that kind of evens out. Plus it looks awesome. Especially if your wardrobe consists of a lot of blacks and browns, this watch would work perfectly on just about anyone. The most expensive part of this watch is all the soda that you're gonna buy from the cravings looking at it will give you. Anyway, that is my roundup of soda-themed watches that aren't Rolexes. I had a lot of fun making this video. Thanks for watching this video. I love making playful stuff like this, so playful and delicious watch content is your jam. Definitely subscribe. This is what this channel is about. Thanks again for your viewership. I'm so excited to see you guys in the next video.